Idolatry has been one of the most trendy topics in the Christian world. And it's been so good for us to study, and to really take introspective of our daily, thoughts, our daily activities, to know what about our lives have become some form of idolatry. However, I want to add to that because I think it's becoming to a point where, should I say, the younger woke or the woke mentality is sipping into that content. I don't even know how to say it, but we're calling a lot of things idolatry that is really just the process, right? I used to be so afraid of being in any kind of idolatry because I didn't want to have anything above God. I always wanted to make sure that nothing came above my relationship with God. So in my season of just, being more conscious about doing consistent evaluation, making sure that I'm accountable to those around me, making sure that nothing has my attention more than God, or I'm not obsessing about something more than God, right? And to add more to that in this season, I'm realizing also that people are just calling everything idolatry, even some things that I called idolatry in my life. I had to go to God about it. I'm like, God, am I in idolatry about this? Because I really feel like this is you that has been on my mind about this certain situation I'm dealing with, or this person I'm dealing with, or whatever. And I'm consistent because I don't want to say I'm an overthinker, but I am, right? I get so hyper focused on something. I learn about it. I get really borderline obsessive about it. Like, it's kind of like an ADHD personality situation without the disorder, but the ADHD part of it, where it's like I get hyper focused on something I studied. By the time I'm done with it, I know so much about it that I can be an expert on it. So for me, when I learn something, even when God gives me a word, I can write a book about that word, right? I'm researching what are the different meaning of that word, what are different scriptures, have people dealt with this? I'm searching on YouTube if anybody has gotten that word before and talked about it. So in my season where I was dealing with something that was persistent every day in, day night, like I'm praying about it, I'm researching it, and it's going on for like weeks, months at a time. I'm like, Lord, and somebody brought it to my attention that I was in idolatry, and I had to really take it back to God. Like, God, I've been making sure I'm not in idolatry. Like, I know this is you. What is this? Because I am giving off all the signs and symptoms of someone that is in idolatry, right? Because I'm thinking about it consistently. I'm waking up, I'm praying about it, I'm meditating on it, and all of the situation. So then Holy Spirit spoke to me and was like, you're not in idolatry. That's just the language that God is training you with in this season. And it made perfect sense to me, right? Because all of us have gone through so many different processes and seasons of God training us. And he would use different things to train us in that season that becomes almost like an obsession. But it's really not an obsession, because you're not obsessing outside of God. You're obsessed about the things of God. You're obsessed about, oh my God, God told me to do this and I saw it manifest. Okay, I prayed this prayer and I saw it happen. I was able to pray for 2 hours about one thing. I wake up in the morning wondering what God is saying about this particular situation. And so I realized that a lot of times as well, it's just like, if I'm in the first grade, right? And my teacher is my favorite teacher, and my teacher is teaching me all these different things, what to do, even things that I can do at home to be a better student or whatever. And in that season of being in the first grade, all my everything, when I go home, when that child comes home, they're like, nope, I can't do this because Miss so-and-so said we can't do this, or I can do this. Oh, I don't know if Miss so-and-so would allow me to. Like, we've had that, even I've had that with my children, where they will literally tell me your teacher said, and I'm like, I'm your parent, but they were following what your teacher said, right? Now, is that idolatry? No, it's not. That's their first grade teacher. That's the person that has been assigned in that season to teach them. So they are supposed to always be in a state of constantly thinking about what would this person do, what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, because that person is the one that's training you in that season. That's not idolatry, right? Now, if you have graduated first grade, gone to high school, and gone to college, in high school and college, you're still trying to do what your first grade teacher taught you in first grade, or you're still trying to communicate for them to tell you what to do in high school or college, then that's out of order. Then we can start diagnosing it as idolatry. But I'm realizing that, man, a lot of things that even I called idolatry for so long was really not. It was just the way God knew that this method of talking to me or using this person or this situation, it could be money, right? It could be God is using finances to teach me so many lessons about his ways, his characters, demonic spirit, whatever it is, the way he communicates to me, his language. Or he could be using a family member situation, or he could be using marriage, he could be using courting, he could be using your children, he could be using, ministry. Like, it's just so many ways, and now I don't limit God on how he talks or how he decides to train me. And as long as my heart, I'm consistently resubmitting it back to God. Like, God, I'm focused on this thing, and I pray to you, if it's not you, please redirect me. Please GPS me. And I'm getting more comfortable with God, with trusting that, hey, I feel like this is God. And as I've talked to 2 or more people and nobody has said anything out of order, I'm going to chase it. I'm not sure, but God, if it's not you, please redirect me. I'm okay with God redirecting me, because I was so afraid of making a mistake that I'm like, oh my God, I don't want a demon to enter into my life through idolatry. So let me make sure that I'm always, not, making sure I'm not in idolatry. And if anything even smells like idolatry, I'm cutting it off. But now it's like just being at peace and at rest. Like, Lord, I trust you to redirect me, because I know that my attention is always set on you. It's always set on pleasing you and glorifying you. So now it's like, before somebody's like, I don't, when I minister to people or I counsel people, it's like, I think I'm in idolatry with this. And I'm like, okay, let's go over it. What is it? What is the fruit of what that is doing in your life? Because for me, the way I helped to, I figured it out, is like, what was the fruit of the so-called idolatry bringing in my life? Now, the fruit that the past thing that came off as idolatry was that it got me closer to God. It made me pray more. It made me fall in love more with Jesus. It made me understand Bible stories so much more, because the language that God was using to speak to me was the way I really could understand it, right? It's like, I'm African, okay? So let's say that God is using Swahili this time to explain to me, instead of using English, where everybody else has been explaining it to me in English because I'm in America, and I wasn't getting it. But then God chooses an instant, a scenario, a person, a situation in my life to minister to me through that language. And everything that the people that have been speaking English to me, it made perfect sense. Like, it wasn't going against what they were saying, but God was adding more. He was using that language to filter the explanation and processing for my mind. And even though I would try to explain it, and some people will not get it, because it's like, hey, demonic spirits they do 1, 2, 3, 4, that, like, it's straightforward, right? You can diagnose a demonic spirit and you know what medication to give to it, and then boom, bam, you've dealt with deliverance in that. But we forget also that the enemy steals everything from God. So God also could mimic, the situation could mimic a demonic spirit, but you got to look at the fruit of it, right? To be able to still allow God to flow and still allow room before judging a situation as idolatry, whether in your life or whether in somebody else's life. If God is using, let's say for business, I'm an entrepreneur. Because in the business world, we do this. In our careers, we do this. We don't call it idolatry. But as soon as we get into the kingdom, we start, I think, overdoing certain things that we should kind of apply some reasoning. Like, come, let's reason it out. If you're in business and God connects you to somebody that is doing something similar, or somebody that has already achieved what you want to achieve in business, or somebody that's willing to mentor you or coach you or help you, whatever it is. And now you're running your business and you're like, okay, any idea you have, you run by that person, or you're talking to them consistently. You're waking up and you're like, man, what would this person do? Or how would this person answer this question? Or you ask them. That's not idolatry, right? That's not idolatry. It's idolatry when you're doing it past the season. If in that season could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 7 years, it could be 10 years, whatever it is. And it's going to grow and change, right? It could be one day, it could be a week. That's not idolatry, that you wake up and you're like hyper focused on a topic or a person because of what God is using them in your life. So I think when we do that, we call that, being mentored. Or if you're an intern, you know that you're waking up, you're obsessing about this job, this business, and whatnot. But as long as you're still submitted to God, like, it's not like it's taking you away from God. It's something that is bringing you more dependent to God, and you see that you're growing spiritually, you're understanding more. Like, look at the fruit of it. I think from the fruit, you shall know them by their fruit. You shall know if it's idolatry by the fruit. But you cannot define something as idolatry just off of the symptoms, because sometimes you may be getting it wrong. So I just wanted to share that today, because it's something that I got delivered from, right? Because I was always just conscious about that. Now I'm at rest, at peace with it, where I'm like, Lord, I'm obsessed about this topic right now because you put the desire, because I've surrendered my desire to you, and I constantly am surrendering my desires and my thoughts to you. So if anything comes to my mind that I'm obsessive about, it's you. And if it's not you, redirect me. There was a night I woke up, right, in the middle of my sleep, and literally, I don't remember whether it was just the word sheep or shepherd, but literally I woke up with the word sheep or shepherd, and I'm like, shepherd, Lord, what does that mean? I go ChatGPT, Google, like, when I tell you I studied sheep, okay, till 6 a.m. in the morning. By the time I was done with it, I know where you can find the best sheep. I know the different types of sheeps. I know Norwegian sheep. Like, I know the countries. Like, I know what the shepherds. Like, I saw a video of a shepherd and their staff. Like, how a staff, what they use it for. And is that idolatry? Now somebody can easily be like, man, I have a sheep idol. I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was studying sheep till 6 a.m. and that's all that was on my mind. Or even if it wasn't just by a few hours. Let's say you were obsessed with studying sheep for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're learning things, and it's connecting to biblical stories about how God shepherds, how Christ shepherds us, or what shepherds, what being a sheep means. Like, that's not idolatry. That's just the language that God is using to explain biblical principle, his ways, his characters to you. Now, if I was studying sheep and it was not connected nowhere to God, it was just me studying sheep for, I don't know, it's just taking my time. I'm not going to work anymore. I'm not taking care of my children. I'm just studying sheep because, I don't know. I don't even know. But I think you guys get the point. So I just wanted to share that today. Are you really in idolatry, or is that a language that God is teaching you a lesson that you need to really be hyper focused on?